Hi, I'm Megan. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be trying to knit some stuffed pumpkins. I have all of the stuffing left after Duck Bear, and I'm not quite ready to make a sibling for Duck Bear yet. And so I thought it'd be really fun, since we're now in the fall season, to knit some little pumpkin decorations for our house. So I've done some looking online, and I've seen some YouTube videos and some patterns for pumpkins, but I don't love all of them, and so I thought I would just kind of see what happens. And so I'll link everything that I'm using below in the description if you'd like to try and make your own stuffed pumpkins. And I apologize, you can probably hear my beagle Hiccup snoring. She is joining me today for my knitting time, which is great. With this, I am using 5 double point needles, and I'm kind of going to use a similar way that I learned making Duck Bear, was to kind of start small and go out from there. So we're going to start with just 3 needles, and I'm just going to cast on 3 stitches onto 3 needles. And so what I eventually want is to be able to start with just 3 stitches on 3 needles, and I'm terrible at casting on, and so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cast 3 stitches onto 1 needle, and then I'm going to stitch 1 on each needle to kind of get it going. So I'm just going to do like maybe 1 or 2 rows at this super small, just to kind of get a bottom of my pumpkin going. Wait, why do you have 2 on this row? And now I'm just going to start adding stitches. I'm going to knit front to back, and I don't think I'm super good at this, but we'll see how it goes. Now I have sort of more stitches, kind of. So it does end up that I've got 10 stitches, so that seems like a good number. It's kind of looking a little strange, generally right where the tie is, so I don't quite know what's going on there, but hopefully it'll tighten up a little bit as we go. So I'm going to go ahead and do 1 more row where we add on stitches. I'm going to try and do that knit front and back to, in theory, if I did knit front and back, knit, knit front and back, knit, in theory I would be adding 5 stitches, but I'm going to guess it's going to be more than that. So let's find out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's fine. So we've doubled our stitches. We now have 20 stitches, and we're going to try and get this going a little bit wider. So I'm starting to think that this is probably going to end up actually being my top of my pumpkin, where I will be putting the stem, because it kind of looks like that's where it wants to live. So I'm just going to knit a few rows at this size and see where we're at. And I just realized what I needed to do actually was pull in my 5th needle and put 5 on each of the 4 needles. So that's what I'm doing. I am now knitting until I can get 5 stitches on each needle. When you knit without patterns, and you don't really know what you're doing, but you have too much of an idea, you just make it work. Make it work, make it work. My needle slipped and just fell right out. I was like, why is this so loose? It's because it slipped. Okay. So this happens sometimes. It happens to me more often than maybe it should. So I'm just going to try and save it. It's okay. It's gonna be... It's gonna be fine. So at this point, if I want to get stuffing in this, I better do it now. And so what I'm going to do is actually move my stitches so I have 4 on each and have 2, and let's go ahead and get that stuffing in there. So I'm not going to like overstuff it because I want it to be squishy enough, because it's kind of a oblong, almost like a squash shape for this first pumpkin, and so I'm just going to kind of stuff them around. Okay. Now I'm going to find my scissors and I'm going to cut my string, and I'm going to close this off. And the way I do this is I use, if I could find it, one of my big, like, knitting needles, sewing needles, to just go through the loops with the tail end of the string. And so now we've got the orange part of our pumpkin. And next, it's time to do the stem. We'll do 4 stitches, and first we're just gonna get the green on here somehow. That's looking more like what I want it to look like. Yay! Okay, so I'm actually gonna do just a few little rows to get this guy going. And I'm just kind of going back and forth with these two needles, and so I don't really know if this is working, but I feel like it's kind of working. It's good enough. The main thing is we just want to pull this last strand through those last two niches, or stitches, while they're on the needle this time. And then, ta-da! Okay. He's looking a little funny, so let's see if we can squish him out. Well, let's do some trimming. Does it look like a pumpkin? Sort of. How can I make it look more like a pumpkin? So, since I made my very first pumpkin, I have had a fun time making more. It kind of started with, I'll just make one or two, but they all take about an hour and a half to make, which is, you know, an episode and a half of something on Netflix, and so I just have to finish the episode, and then another episode, and so somehow, basically, I have now made, here was the first pumpkin that I made, and then here was the second, which was getting a little bit better. And I even, for this one, I did a pattern on my rows, so I did knit, knit, purl, purl, knit, knit, to kind of give it that ribbed look. And then I got really ambitious and did a combo of my orange yarn and this multicolored yarn with kind of a different stem, because I was experimenting with that. And that guy ended up being pretty cute. Little poofy, but not too bad. And then my pumpkin I am probably most proud of at this point is this guy. He's the combo of the stem green with the orange, and so I just did knitting with the two strands of yarn for both of these guys. But I am just loving him, and I like the way that I did the stem. It's kind of cute, and they look really cute together. Hadley has been coming in periodically and very excitedly asking me when she can knit her own pumpkin, so I let her hold the yarn and a needle, which is always fun. And so since I've gotten better, because I feel like comparatively, so if this was pumpkin number 1 and this was pumpkin number 2, I clearly have gotten better at this just with practice. And so if you want to make your own knit pumpkins, time-wise, especially if you're the kind of person like me who in the evening you sit and watch a couple episodes of something on Netflix or on TV, this is a really great and pretty easy, once you get started, craft to be able to add a little bit of fall festivities to your home. This has been really fun, and I'm probably going to make more pumpkins throughout October because I still have lots of yarn left to work with, which is so exciting. But if you have your own favorite pumpkin pattern that you made or like, I'd love to hear it, so please comment that down below. And which one of the pumpkins is your favorite? So we have original pumpkin. Ooh, original pumpkin. Pumpkin number 2. Ooh. Semi-colorful pumpkin with a fat stem at the top. So cute. And then we have the green and orange pumpkin, pumpkin number 4. And our final pumpkin, bumpy, colorful, squashy pumpkin, number 5. So comment down below which pumpkin is your favorite, which one you'd like to make, and I'll put in the description all of the stuff I have been using, as well as some of like the sort of notes around making each thing, and we'll be saying hi again soon.